Alles gut, Simon?
Ja,
Komm schon im Schreiben hinterher.
jetzt habe ich schon geschrieben, dass wir. Wait, hold on. Give, we will share the new link with everyone, and then we'll have to take a 5-minute break, and then you can start with the previous one here, or wherever you want to start. But
Ja, der Assignment Sheet.
we'll let everyone join first.
Ja.
I'm putting it on Telegram. I will update it. Yeah.
Shoot, that happens. Wo ist denn der Stream abgebrochen, weißt du das? Ja, kein Stress. Was? Ich nicht. Warum? Nein. We're just waiting a few minutes or 1-2 minutes until people have reconnected. See, there are already 20 people watching again a stream. We just wait 2 minutes. Sorry for the keep the microphone close to you. Sorry. Yeah. I just wait 1-2 minutes then until people have reconnected. So I think we can go back again. I don't know where the stream stopped, but I just start from the assignment sheets minimal again. Basically, again, the assignment sheets are weekly, and mostly they have no mandatory attendance in terms of you don't have to do them, but if you want to do the exam, then you have to do them. Because keep in mind, the requirement to write the exam is mostly in the assignment sheets, which rely on 50% of the points. So basically, it is mandatory, and submission is often done in groups. And be careful, do all of the assignments or at least one question every time, at least once, to practice for the exam, because later on in the exam, if you skip let's say you skip the harder stuff and say, okay, my crewmates do these, then then you have a bit of a problem in the exam, because mostly to Murphy's Law, exactly these which you did not cover come in the exam, and then you have a problem. Lectures, okay, I think here the stream froze last time. Basically, this is just an example from a bachelor's, but basically yours will see exactly like this. And here, maybe you think, okay, this is not much. On Monday and Thursday, I only have 2 hours of lectures. Be careful. So basically, for each of them, or let's say for this programming one is basically, let's say, a core lecture, you have here another core lecture and here another core lecture. Basically, you have to fill 3 slots again of 2 hours for tutorials, which I highly recommend to go. And then you have to plan in kind of time for the assignments. And these assignment sheets does not take only 2 hours. So they can take longer, depending, and depending on the workload. And for example, in math, sometimes you sit there quite longer, so you have to plan in their time. Also, you want to eat in between, you want to do maybe some other stuff except university, and therefore it's highly recommended not to overload yourself, which we heard earlier. 30 credit points is much. It's not a shame if you say, okay, I'm just starting my first semester, I hear just only 15 to 18, or let's say 20, 21. It's completely okay, because they kind of a lot of work to do. And if you say, okay, I'm completely confident that I can do this, go for it. So then you probably also will do it. So basically, the LSF, which we mentioned maybe earlier in some comments, it's basically you find there the lecture list, you find your study documents, not your study regulation. Basically, your all your exams, you can have exam registration, but also if you need BAföG or something, you find these in your study documents. And in exam registration, for the exam registration, you need an item list. If you don't know what an item list is, probably for your student's account, you got a mail and with 2 items, and I will show you how to generate an item list. Also in the LSF, there are deadlines, or at least register. There's the deadlines for the exam registration, but you will get also mail from Evelyn Kraska to remind you, the exam registration has now begun or ended, and please deregister if you can't participate in an exam until a week before. Now we'll do a short live demo, and for this I have just to drop the mic for 1 second. Sorry, I muted myself a few seconds ago. So this is the lsf.uni-saarland.de. You will find it online. And I just used my student credentials to log in. And basically, this is the first thing you will see. So This is the home page or the start page. Let's start with exam administration, the tab. And here you have the exam registration and deregistration, info about registered exams, and your transcript of records. Your transcript of records is a list of every exam you did. So also inclusive the failed ones, just for you to know. So I can click on this, and then you see so for example, I did my bachelor's here. You would see here also, if I click on here, which I'm not, then you see all my exams I did in my bachelor's. Same here for your master's. Just go back again. You also have here information about registered exams. I can show you I don't have any registered exams here. So also, so basically you see here when then you can keep track of your exams here. And it's exam registration and deregistration. I go again here. They say an important warning, because what you do here now, you cannot undo. So basically, if I press continue, you see here a list of every single topic you have to cover. So basically, my internship phase, I did it already, and I can hear main lectures, advanced lectures, seminars. So basically, if I go just to the main lectures here, I see every single lecture I can attend, or at least I can get credit for it. And for example, if I want to hear artificial intelligence, which I'm kind of through with my lectures, this was a bet. Sorry, they don't have an exam date yet. Let's find something they have. Let's say distributed systems. Do they have one yet? Nope. HCI. Human computer interaction. Sorry. So basically, to register for an exam or deregister is exactly the same procedure. You just have to click one or two times through, and then you can say, okay, here you can see when is the examination date, when is the deadline for deregistration, and also who is the professor, and you can sign for it. Here you see the registration period ended. Since I'm not hearing it, it's okay, but please don't miss this deadline for registration for the exam. So if you have questions, just write them. We will talk about it in the Q&A section. Study administration, I will just show you shortly. Also here you see your enrollment certificates. I just say you can here create a new item list. You can check for yourself. Just you have to use the 2 items you received in the email to create a new item list. Please keep this away from others, because if some other people have your item list, they can do a lot of crazy stuff with it. And also contact details. Last but not least, you can see, wait, let me just check, you can, it's to German again, why? Okay, in the events section, you can also go to course directory, and here you see literally every lecture from the university, so basically we are master consecutive, and then we have to check, or you have to check for everything, or for your own study regulation. Let's just choose computer science just to show you. I go to computer science, which takes a bit. Then you can see, okay, when are the introductory events, what are the master lectures, advanced lectures, seminars, and what you can cover here. Basically, for the advanced lectures, you can cover everything from here. And important to know, you cannot register for the lecture, not the exam here, because in the computer science department this is mostly done over the website of the person or of the professor itself or of the docent. And for example, the websites, you can go to each one of them, one entry, and mostly there's a link in here for the website, and on the website you can register for the lecture, but mostly you can do this until the second week of the semester or until the semester started. And then also after in the first lecture they talk also to you, please register for the lecture. And so but if you can do it in beforehand, some lectures are kind of restricted in terms of how many people can attend, so therefore try to be fast. Also, you can just say here, if you say reserve here and note marked appointments, this is then filled in your LSF plan in here, but be sure you click save plan. If you don't click save plan, everything you did for the last few minutes is lost. Just saying. Going back to the slides. Nope, this was the wrong slide, sorry. Present. So basically this was the LSF demo. If you have questions, again, I'm gladly to take them in the Q&A. So we covered lectures. I just go to the exams a bit faster. It's not that much. Again, I said a lot about it earlier. Register and unregister until 1 week before the exam. So, and mind the first deadline date or mind the first exam date. Sometimes there are also midterms. Mostly the professors are going to tell you, please register for the exam, but you have to do this. So you have to do this by your own. Because, for example, if you're registering for an exam and failed the exam, you failed. You did registration, you did register for the exam and not showing up, you failed too. And registering, not showing up, but you have a medical certificate which proves that you are not able to take the exam, then you did not fail. So basically, mind the unregistered date. And just for you can unregister and register how often you want. If you are unsure and say, oh, I want to register, next day I want to unregister, and so on, you can do this as long as you have items and you can generate them as much as you need. Exams are necessary to get the grade. There are oral or written exams, and the admission is, as I said, over assignment sheets, tutorial attendance, tests, and so on. And an important note is here, you have 3 attempts to write an exam. What I mean by this is 3 times you have the chance to take part in an exam. So basically the end term, so the final exam and the re-exam are 2 attempts. So if you take both, you only have 1 attempt to write the exam again. If you fail this 2, you're not allowed to hear this course ever again. Be sure it is not one in your needed courses, because if you fail a course which you need to finish your let's say you finish your study, that's bad. That's kind of really bad, because then you're not allowed to finish it. You finish your study. But there's also possibly a 4th one. But hopefully you won't need it if you talk to Mrs. Breinig about this. A speciality in computer science here is if you write both the final exam and the re-exam, the better grade counts. So if you say, okay, I can do better and also study for the re-exam, it's okay. If you get there a better grade, then you get this one better grade entered in your transcript of records. Exam preparation, shortly. Build study groups and prepare your assignments. And please don't underestimate the time. So mostly for, let's say, 90% of the students, 3 days before the exam is not enough to learn for the exam. So what I recommend you is to go through all materials available. You just don't need to read them. You just can overread them, or just skip quickly through and redo the assignment sheets, because then you see everything and the exam is not really going to surprise you what's coming. Also, what I recommend, if there's a script, do a small script summary for yourself. It's help you to study, and then you have everything you think you need to focus on. And the tutors are paid, so please don't hesitate to ask the tutors for help. They're literally paid for this. So therefore, ask them every question you have. On the exam day, come early to the exam and don't be late, because if you're late, your time to write the exam will not be extended, of course. Also, read the front cover carefully, otherwise you might fail. For example, if you have a calculator and the exam sheets in front says you are not allowed to take a calculator, then you fail. Also, listen to the exam instructor's tutors. Also, in terms of tutors and the exam instructor are only human, and persons who wrote the exam are also only human. Sometimes they make a mistake. If a tutor or anyone see a mistake, they may say this in the exam, so listen to it carefully. You are allowed to go to the bathroom to eat, but especially for the path to eat, be aware that there are also other people in the room. You probably don't want to eat a salmon sandwich or something really crunchy, but you are allowed to eat. And any attempt to cheat can result in exmatriculation. So therefore, please don't cheat. And the tutors are trained to see if you cheat or not, so don't cheat. In the exam, mostly pens are allowed. Calculator and other stuff only if it's said so. Also, sometimes, again, if the lecturer said it, you can have a handwritten sheet of paper. If not, it's not allowed, and then you fail the exam. Also, in a kind of nowadays there are mobile phones, smartwatch, earphones, AR glasses. Don't do this. You will fail, because these things are illegal. You can prepare a cheat sheet if allowed by the course coordinator. Sorry. And again, read the first exam page. There's everything written you can take in the exam. If you take anything else which is not written there, it's bad. On the exam day, read once round through the exam before you start. Maybe you think you will lose 2 minutes of this, but it's going to help you to schedule the tasks which you can do. Because skip questions you can't answer until the end. Because if you think, oh, the first question I really can't do, and you, let's say, take 50% of your time, it's bad. So just do the questions you think you really can answer, because in the end it will help you to have more time for the questions you really struggle with. Please write an answer to every question. So tutors cannot create anything when it's not there. So if you think this might be correct, or at least a bit correct, write an answer. You might get half points, and maybe these half points help you to pass the exam. If you achieve 50% in the exam of you pass, and the passing grade might be reduced, for example 40%, but it's not going to be like 60 or 70%. What? I think it's never increased. Maybe just one exception, I think, but it's never increased, it's just getting decreased. So, again, in the LSF, plan your lectures before you start your semester. Then register for the exams. Choose your exercise group. You can also team up with a friend there. then do the exercise sheets. When the exam registration is out, register for the exam. And the CMS, maybe you wonder, is basically the website of the lecturer. So you have to register for the exam mostly on both, but the only thing counts is the LSF. So if you just registered for the exam on the course website, you are not allowed to take the exam. Just saying. So therefore, then you get the final grade, and this final grade gets then transferred into the LSF, and then you finished. Any questions there? Or do we take now a short break and do Q&A later? Yeah, I will just pass the microphone to Arthur.
So there was one topic which was not addressed until now that I would like to address here, is about ungraded courses. So all master programs have a provision for ungraded courses, sometimes 12, sometimes 17. For example, like Masters in Computer Science has 17, and these ungraded courses are always included in the 120 credits that you need overall. So these are given to you for flexibility of changing things in your master's degree. You don't always have to be, not everyone's master's degree has always has to be the same. So you can add some flavors into it, pick up courses which are of your choice, which are not necessarily in the same bucket, or you can also take more courses than you desire. For example, you took 5 core courses, and one of them you did not really get a good grade, or an advanced course where you did not get a good grade, and you do not want the grade to show up in your transcript, you can put it in an ungraded one. Also, language skills and soft skills. For example, if you take German course here, DAF A1 gives you 6 credits. And consecutive German courses do not give you ungraded credits. Otherwise, I would definitely love to take 4 or 5 German courses and finish with a B1 degree and gather credits for them. But that's not allowed. You can take them, but you will get credits only for the very first language course that you take, whether it is Spanish or whether it is German, not English though. And I And also, German is. This was a question yesterday. German language course is is provided by 3 organizations at the university. First is MPI. Second is the language department by the university itself, and the third one is ISZ. International Student Zentrum. They also have started since last year providing German courses, and all of their courses are really good because the demand is increasing. How can I convert a course into ungraded course? Well, if you have enough courses for your graded buckets, and you still have more courses, all you have to do is when you, this is a process at the end of your degree. You go to the exam department and you tell them which courses you do not, this course I do not want to grade them, and they will just put them in ungraded bucket. It's as simple as that. So this was the last topic that I wanted to cover in this session. Now we will have a group QA, and a big shout out to our team. Our plan was to have a QA session at the end so that the viewers' focus would be at what we are speaking at the moment. And I hope asking questions and our ability to respond to them actively did not distract you from listening to what we were saying, because questions are being repeated. But nevertheless, we would take 15 minutes to answer all the questions that you can. And if you can, give a shout out to Nicholas, our friend here, Simone, who's sitting with us right now. And also to Daniel and the whole team. They have been actively responding to your questions. So I'd request Ankit. DSAI is popular. I expect more questions. Simone and everyone to put on their masks and join us here. So guys, we'll have a 15-minute QA session followed by we need a 10-minute break. And then we will be back with the next session at 1:30, 1:35 or so. Yeah. Let's see what questions pop up. Excuse me. Sorry, Simone. This is Simone. He's the one who's been one of the people who has been very actively answering questions on live. And Nick is not sitting here with us, but you will find him on Discord. Or you can just say what you want to say in the chat as well. He's reading. Robotic.
I think we
Yeah, robotics. I have no idea.
30 credit points.
We saw one question for robotics, and I'm aware that there are some seminars which are being awarded in the robotics department, and you can also check DFKI. They also have a lot of things going, research work going around robotics.
Yeah, DFKI has a lot of projects. I'm not sure about courses and seminars because I have not taken them personally, but DFKI is active in robotics. And do we have any courses dedicated to robotics?
Mechatronics.
Okay. Yeah. Also, UMTL labs will also. I think UMTL also offers robotics seminars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably one or two courses, but no. But unfortunately, our university does not really specialize on that. So. I would take this last question because it's interesting. Which organization do you recommend for passing German course? They're all the same. IMPRS, Language Center, and ISG, they're all really good, really friendly, and very proficient teachers. So whichever you can register and get a seat in, do that. And try not to occupy multiple seats because they are in demand, and you would just be sitting in someone else's. Really? Oh. Okay. Oh, because of Corona, how to do it online?
Yeah, they didn't.
Okay.
Maybe just come closer. There was a question earlier about the masters, about the 6 months master's period. I just want to stress out. So you can, so if you pass 30 credit points in your first semester, you of course can take the masters in the second semester. And yeah, the 6 months after you not applied for the master thesis, after you submitted your master thesis, after you submitted your master thesis, but your master thesis application. So mostly it is the case that you go to a professor, ask him for a thesis, work a bit on it, research a bit for it, and then you come to a topic and then you apply for a master thesis. So it can take longer than 6 months, but if you are fast, you can submit earlier. So if you are finished after 3 months with your thesis, then of course you can submit your thesis after 3 months. So you don't have to take then the full 6 months. Just wanted to say because this was a question earlier.
So there was a question, what is the minimum number of graded courses? This depends on the program of study you are in. Computer science, just one example, computer science master program is divided in, I think, 4 blocks. One of them is blocks for core lectures. Core lectures give 9 credits and you need to have 27 graded core lecture credit points. So you would need to do 3 graded core lectures for this. Yeah. Is it reasonable to stick to the suggested study plan? What would be a good reason to diverge from it? So, in theory, you should do 30 credit points each semester, which can be quite a lot, especially if you're unfamiliar with the things, how studying works here. So, especially in your first semester, if you did your bachelor's here, you might already know how things work. But if you just started your master's at our university, it might be unfamiliar for you, and you might not want to take more courses than there are suggested. So as Atu mentioned earlier, taking 1 or 2 core lectures and maybe an advanced lecture and a seminar in a semester is quite a lot of work. Don't underestimate it, even if it's only 27 or 29 credits. So if you want to take a semester break, you would need to talk to the study coordinator for this. If you would want to do an internship abroad or Erasmus semester, you could also apply for a holiday semester thing at our university. This usually is no problem. But if there are specific cases, you would need to talk to the study coordinator. She's really nice, and the whole team with her, they are really nice, and then they can help you with that.
So one question was if the university, can you just show, if the university allows taking credit course from other universities once in a while? I don't think so. I'm not aware that you can take.
Okay, so there are some institutes that offer courses from other sides of the institutes. For example, the MPI for software systems. They have another place in Kaiserslautern, in our neighbor state. And it is possible to take online courses there. So, for example, the core lecture operating systems, I remember that they used to stream them either from Saarbrücken or from Kaiserslautern. There are also seminars and advanced lectures that it is possible. You can find the information about these courses also in the LSF. If there are courses that might be interesting for you and are not listed in the LSF but are offered by institutes located at our by partner institutes or other sites of the institutes of our university, you could check with the examination office. It might be possible to also take these.
One question I see is if the courses from the first semester also will be held in the second semester. No. So mostly all lectures normally are in a 1 year cycle. So everything, or most of the lectures, so everything held in winter semester will going to take place again in winter semester. And so same as summer semester. Except for some courses, for example, software engineering, I think, is held every 2 years. And some course of the DSEI I heard earlier. So no, so basically these semesters, so it's basically every winter term and every summer term are mostly the same lectures. Seminars not. Seminars may vary or will vary. And yeah.
Would Marco asked this question before as well? Sorry for not being able to address this before, Marco. Would you recommend taking a seminar in the first semester? No, it's not recommended because seminars are meant to be taken after you have deep knowledge or at least foundational and some depth of knowledge in the course in the department or in the field that is offered by the professor. So you definitely should take core courses and then related master advanced courses that the professor is offering or the teacher is offering, so that you would at least have understanding of the courses, because seminars are meant to be active research and top of the field really deep papers that you are going to read, and unless you have deep understanding of those of that subject, it would be really hard to take the seminar and get a good grade and even float through it. Also, the thing is, you have to take it's necessary for you to take one seminar. So if you're just taking one seminar, it's recommended you do it at the end, because yeah, I already I'm just repeating myself at this point.
If you are unsure about your qualification for these seminars, most of the seminars also have the requirements on their description. And there's another question. Is there any advantages for new students who start their studies at winter semester or students who start at summer semester? For the master programs, there's no difference. There are a lot of lectures you can take in summer, and there are a lot of lectures you can take in winter semester. Yeah.
There were many questions regarding timetable of the course and the registration regarding the courses this semester. If any course is listed in LFS, then it will definitely be offered, and they will update the timetable and the registration link for the same. So you don't have to worry on that.
If there is a question about you can book appointments with professors or tutors in case you have problems with the subject. So most of the lectures have not only the lectures themselves, they also have tutorials that might be held online this winter semester. And they might also have office hours where you can drop by in Zoom or Teams or Discord. And usually there are some tutors there. You can these are done in fixed times during the week, and you can ask your questions there. This most of the lectures do have a system like this. If you can't reach anyone and this is not the case, then you can always contact the tutors. But first, please try. So if you can't solve a problem yourself, try to talk to your peers, to other students. If they can't help you with it, try to talk to the tutors. And then if they can't help you, then you might contact the TA or the lecturers.
So Pankuri asked if someone is planning to come in the first week of January, would it be a problem considering exams are in 1 month? Not really, because the university has facilitated this specifically by making it an making it a hybrid semester. But the thing is, it would depend upon the courses that you're taking. If there is a midterm exam or something like that, or if there are assignment submissions where you have to do a physical project development over here, like interactive systems or something like that, then you could be in trouble. But also the second thing is, if you're here and you get to meet with your fellow students and do assignments with them, or you get to meet the tutors, it would be easier for you to manage the courses because because it just would be. And last thing is, if you arrive in January and your exams are starting in February, or by March they will all be done, it would be quite late and you will have to do a lot of things that you have to do after you come to Saarbrücken in the first few weeks. So you would have your settling in tension and your exam tension colliding together. All the best if you want to do it that way, if you would be able to manage, but it's up to you. One second, I have to answer one more. John Snow is asking, what is the number of credits recommended per semester? Sven took this in very detail for like half an hour, 15 minutes ago. If you can go back to the video, at the beginning of the video, please have a look at this again, because we went it into detail and we answered this question for 30 minutes, explaining how things have to be done here in that case.
Regarding courses from other universities, Nick just updated me here. Having courses from other universities recognized is possible in a limited way by filling an application with the examination board, but please talk to your study coordinator first.
Akshay asked, some seminars are listed in German and seminars are listed in English or not. We are not very sure about it. It would depend upon what seminar are you talking about. It could be possible it's a bachelor seminar, or there could be a mistake or something like that. But in a few days, on 27th, there is a presentation by every professor, and you should wait for that. And every doubt you have about a particular subject or a particular seminar or a course, I think it would be answered there. You would find out whether it is in German or it is in English, or a bachelor or a master seminar.
Please don't confuse seminars and pro seminars. Pro seminars are meant for bachelor students, and seminars are both for bachelor and master students. On the seminar website of the computer science faculty, I think there are no seminars mentioned that are only in German. I only recall one seminar in the last few semesters that was held only in German because it was a collaboration with the legal department. Yeah, it's held this semester too. So it's in German because you would need to talk to law students, and yeah, they don't have the requirement that the courses need to be in English.
Marco, it's quite appropriate for this discussion, and that's why Ankit is sitting here with us. You can proceed with your question about DSAI.
There's a question in Discord from Dennis. Will the information covered on the stream be available in written form, at least the presentation? So we don't plan to give you the presentation slides, but there is a quite big and extensive document with most of the stuff we are talking about here. We will share this.
So there's one question: where to find the previous year question papers? Question papers, exam question papers, we don't have. So basically, for example, assignment sheets. So mostly these things are not available online, where you can. So in general, these are not available online. So at least not on the lectures page or anywhere else. I just say here, ask your fellow students if they maybe, or your peers, maybe they already heard the course and maybe they can give you some insights, but no, they are not available online.
Lucas wants to know about specialization in master courses. Sorry, Lucas, there is no such document which gives you specializations, recommendations, or corresponding courses. But the thing is, it's all open for you, and whatever you can cook up with the courses offered by the university in this and the following semesters will be your master's degree. And the examples that we gave here today, for example, the database systems or the security one or the MPI one, these are from the experience and the stories of students who have taken master's computer science and have designed their own master's degree by taking courses of their choice. So it's all up to your imagination, whatever you want to make with your master's in computer science degree.
Just to add on that, you can also look into groups which offer similar courses. Like for database, for example, we have the big data analytics group. You can go through the courses and teaching offers they mentioned. So accordingly, you can plan, like go through the groups and what are the courses they are offering.
There's a question in Discord: will there be study leaves before exams start after lectures are over? So if I get this correctly, you ask if there is a if there is the time where there are no lectures. So for the winter semester, most of the main exams will start right after the lectures ended. Then there will be some weeks with no lectures, and then there will be the re-exams. That's how it usually is in winter semester, but there is no dedicated time with no lectures and no exams. And what about the tutorials? Where can we find info about the timetable and participation? That depends on the lecture itself. All the courses have the information about timetable and tutorials on their websites. Again, on 27th of October, which will be next Tuesday, there will be an introductory meeting where lecturers will present their courses. Would the presentation on 27th be available for later viewing? So, in summer semester there was a meeting like this, and I think it's still available, so it should be available for some time. It is organized by the faculty and the dean.
Do you want to answer entrepreneur cybersecurity one? who to contact.
What's the question?
Question is there anyone we can contact for entrepreneurial cybersecurity? Sukanya, the thing is, we do not have any member in the Students' Council who is from entrepreneurial cybersecurity, so we couldn't invite anyone. But you can probably shoot a mail to Professor Zeller, hopefully. Or we would find a representative and get in touch with you if you can send us an email about this. Before we come to your question, I just want to address this question. Is it true that some courses won't repeat in the upcoming semester, and some courses are only twice a year? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at this, but there are only 2 semesters in a year. So if something is offered twice a year, it cannot be offered more than that. But most of the courses are offered at least once a year, or at least once in 2 years. So things which are offered in this semester will most likely not be offered in the next semester, because that gives the students and the professors freedom to offer more courses than just one. Like in one semester they would offer a core course, and then in the next semester they would offer an advanced course of their field and their department. That allows you to first take the core course and then take the advanced course and stick with them and progress with them. But if they keep offering the same courses every semester, there won't be a lot of variety, and it would definitely require a lot of manpower. And I think we have learned about this in economics of hidden unemployment. So Ankit.
Marco? So which courses are especially challenging or difficult from your experience? Database systems, neural networks. Okay. So again, it depends on your personal interest, personal choice. Like for me, for example, neural networks was easier because I have a lot of interest in it. I have some background in it. So it again depends on you. Someone might be facing some challenges in maths or linear algebra or calculus. So for them, might be machine learning is challenging. But it depends on your interest and what your foundations are. So accordingly, I think you can just see the courses and the description of the course, and you can decide accordingly. I think I answered that.
Yes, Bhuvnesh. Some of the courses are offered only once in 2 years, but because that's a mandatory of the university that every course needs to be offered at least once in 2 years. But that still gives you freedom to attend each course at least once while you're doing it. And I think there aren't a lot of courses that do that, right? Like most of the courses are offered every year.
Yeah, there are some core lectures.
Okay. Okay.
Dennis asked in Discord, is there a limit of students which are able to register for lectures? So for core lectures, I have never seen a limit there. Seminars have a limit. You can find that on the seminar registration website. And for advanced lectures, it depends on the lecture. Most of the advanced lectures don't have a limit, but you would need to look that up for every advanced lecture you're interested in. So core lectures don't have a limit, and seminars usually do. Apart from semester contribution, is there a need to pay a fee for other purposes like exam, library, etc.? So you don't need to pay for exam participation, and you don't need to pay for access to the library, or if you want to borrow a book from the library. There's nothing like this. So someone answered in YouTube. I'm not sure which language courses you mean that cost money, but the standard language courses on the language center, some of them even give you credit points. So the standard courses don't cost money. Still, but I'm not sure which language courses you are referring to in the chat.
Prajvi asked if it is possible to get information on CMS or Moodle about courses other than the ones which is already mentioned or given in detail there. Well, the lecturers and professors are free to design their courses and the content that they want to put on in the course autonomously, and they are responsible for managing their websites and everything. So if you do not find a CMS or Moodle for or detailed information in there, it most likely is not going to be available until you start the course. So sorry about that. Yeah, it is. So sorry. Go through asked, is it possible to take courses and from other programs if we would like to? I have asked about this before, and it really depends on your program. Because programs are managed by different head of the departments, and it really depends on your program and the examination department. So there's a particular list which they do not make public for their own reasons, but the examination department has a particular list of courses which you're allowed to take depending on which program you're in. So if there's a course that interests you, take it to them, and they would tell you if you're allowed to take the course or not. And even if you cannot count it in the credits, you might as well just sneak into the lecture and sit and listen to them if it is really of your interest. Yeah, as I said, I asked the examination department. We do not know these thorough questions because we do not have this information.
Yeah, definitely. You can contact me. I am present in almost every social media platforms and also in LinkedIn. So you can contact me there. Again?
It's time to take a break. Sorry, we thought the stream was broken, but yeah, this it's still working. One last thing before we go for a break. Uh, you must have heard about Next Fair, which from our from Beste yesterday about one of the events that we organize. It's a job fair where a bunch of companies from Saarbrücken or around Saarbrücken or also all around Germany come here looking for students or looking for assignments and internships and things. Since it's not possible to do during Corona, uh, they have sent us a new profile, a new advertisement, and they're planning to do this online. So you would just like to show you this for a moment.
What should I do? Yeah, so basically, what shall I say? So basically, the Net Digital is an online career messe? Fair company. It's a company fair where a lot of companies coming, yeah, in this term online because as Atul said, Corona strikes, and therefore, yeah, it's online. And basically, it's a great opportunity for you all to get insights in what companies has to offer, where or which companies are looking for people. So especially if you, let's say, in your second semester or third semester, and you think you will get a job, then there are a lot of companies looking for just a working student there, and so on. So can you just scroll down a bit? So as it said, it begins on the so it's the 4th of November, right? There is a preparation for the fair, and or the link I think will be shared, or you can reach in a profile, and there's a profile check for you, and there are different talks from different companies. Just on the next slide. Yeah, the website is next.uni next next Saarland. Just go up again one bit. It's www.next.saarland. You will find every information from here also on the website itself from them. There are some kind of speeches from so starting, I don't know which date it is, but probably it's mentioned on a thing. Just forgot the date. For example, there is a speech about digital. How is a interview? A company interview. Sorry. How about interviews for work? About music and art and so on. Or music and art in law. And there are workshops which you can apply for, and everything is, as I said, is available on the www.next.saarland.de. Or next.saarland, not the E, sorry. I think we pasted the link.
Yeah.
We pasted the link. You just can look it up from there.
Okay, guys, we would go for a 10-minute break, and we would be back here at on the same link for convenience. We would just turn off the audio and take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back at 2 p.m. So stay tuned. After we come back, we will talk about HEVI and internships and all the things which would definitely interest you. So yeah, for now we are done with ITAN and courses and all of these things. Next is how do you fund your life after? How do you fund your studies after you come here? So stay tuned. We should be back very soon. Hello. Hi, everyone. We're back. Uh, so I hope everyone is here, but I'm going to start with the next section where we talk about how do you fund your studies while you're here, because most of the international students that would be coming here would have uh, a blocked account with say 10,000 euros, and with a monthly expense of 700 to 800 euros, you're definitely going to exhaust it very soon, uh, at the max in a year. And then it could be a problem because you need at least 2 years to finish your degree, or yeah, at least 2 years to finish your degree. And then it's expensive to just live off that. And then if you're able to afford it, then good for you. But I believe a lot of students like myself were not able to do that. So there are good ways to earn while you're learning at the university, and the university and the city around us really supports this kind of mentality. So let's go through how you can make money while you're learning, while you're earning your master's degree. First of all, there are a bunch of options at the university itself. For example, you can, oh, hmm. So there are more motivations than just earning money. When you are when you have a job, you get an experience of the department that you're working with, or if you're working outside of the university, you definitely get some skill development. You make new social circles. If your motivation is to learn more German, then having a bartender job or something of that sort, for example, working at a restaurant, will definitely help you in learning German more quickly than just taking courses. Or if you work at a company like SAP and you have plans of working there in the future, then you definitely can do an internship at SAP or any company of your choice. And of course, you understand what I'm talking about here. So the Saarland University is free, but and you're allowed to take part-time jobs with your visa that you get here. You get a 120 full working day or 240 half working day of agreement with the with your visa. The good thing is the university's work culture or the university's employment does not include in this visa contract. This is only applicable when you're working outside of the university, or you're working at a non-academic department of the university. For example, or when you're working outside university, for example, delivery or something like that. You're not allowed to work for more than 20 hours a week. That's the restriction on your visa, whether you're working inside the university or outside, because this they firmly believe that this will affect your education, and your primary purpose here is your education. You do not have to pay taxes if you earn less than 450 euros per month. But beyond that, taxes are applicable. Some of the money goes into social service assistance, some of the money goes into your pension scheme, and this will definitely be explained to you in detail by your HR before you join. Benefits of working at the university. As I said, it's not bound by the visa restrictions of 120 full working days. It gives you a good flavor of the research that is happening around the university. If there's a organization of your choice or a group of your choice that you would like to experience more of, then working there as a research assistant or as a Hiwi is a really good idea. I worked with CISPA for almost a year before I started my master thesis with them, and it gave me a good understanding of the field, and it also encouraged me to approach my professor with the master thesis idea. And so it helped me build network, and that's a good option for you to take. What can you do at the university? First of all, you can be a teaching assistant, which provides you around 300 euros. The number can be changing because, and I'm not really sure because I was never a teaching assistant myself. And also, it also gives you 4 ungraded credit points. And you can be a research assistant. You would work with a professor or with a PhD student on their thesis or a project that they really are interested in or you're interested in. This does not give you credits directly, but it's good money as well and good research experience. But at the end of it, you can present a project report with an agreement with your professor, and you can get 3 to 6 credits based on what kind of work and how long you worked as an assistant. Other jobs at the university include ZIS or International Student Zentrum, ISZ, or working at the library, or working in the Mensa if you feel like, but the world is open for you. So yeah, if you're working as a research assistant, you can produce, at the end of your work, you can produce a 2 to 3 page report, which has to be signed by your supervisor and your professor. And the exam department will give you 3 to 6 credit points depending on the workload and depending on the agreement. And on the left, you can, oh, hold on, I will move this just here for a moment. Yeah, on the left, you can see the list of organizations that are available at a university for research internships. We will get into this in a little detail, but more information about this will be given by our dean on the 27th at the opening semester opening lecture. Working in the city, I have learned from a lot of friends that working at a at outside the university at a restaurant as a kellner or as a bartender is really fruitful because it helps you develop. It helps you develop social skills. It helps you develop social circles, and it also keeps your mind away from if your workload is a lot. For example, if you're in your later semesters and there's a lot of work you do in your master thesis from morning till 6 in the evening, and after that it's quite likely that you do not want to continue with the same group or continue even academics for the rest of the evening or for the 2 days that you have your employment for. So in that case, food delivery could be a good option because you do not have to you do not have to consume your mental strength anymore. You're exhausted, and cycling around the city will develop your stamina, will develop your health, and you will be physically exhausted and have a good night's sleep after that. So there's a pros and cons of each of them for working in the city or working outside. If you're working in the city or if you're working outside the university, there are some things you should pay attention to because especially these things will be covered by the university's department if you're working in the university, but outside you're responsible for it. And that is, first you should apply for a tax number. Check for your employer's business license so that they are not cheating you. Always in your written contract, you should make sure of what kind of work it is, what compensation you get, how many working hours it's going to be, and what are your holiday entitlements. Because once you sign the contract, these things will become difficult for you if they are not how you want them to be. And always record your working hours because your employer is going to do that, because based on it, that's how they will pay you. So if you worked and it was not recorded, you can be at a disadvantage. So also record your working hours. Important things to know: maximum 10 working hours in a day. That is legal. That is legally allowed. After that, you are legally required to end your working hours, and you have to take 30 minutes break after 6 hours of working, and you have to take 45 minutes working hour if minutes break if you have been working for 9 hours. These are labor laws mandatory in Germany. Sunday and public holiday should be a rest day. If you have to work on Sunday or public holiday, ask for a replacement rest day on one of the working days. You're entitled for that. Night hours or outside of your working contract hours is entitled for higher higher compensation. And I would just repeat that, read your contract thoroughly so that you know what you're liable for and what you're getting in this. Also insurance. Scholarships. If you're fortunate, you would be coming here with a scholarship. And also, it's also quite likely that you might get a scholarship after you are here through BAföG or through DAD. And these help you, they're just free money. You get money for being good or just sometimes for being a student. And if you can, you should take advantage of this because this also adds into your ARD tax, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, you can see on the screen which different ways you can earn money through scholarships. The more detailed information about this would be in our orientation document, so I would proceed with the next slide. Internships. Some of the master programs have mandatory internship, for example, media informatics, but most of them do not. And if you want to do an internship, you can get in touch with the examination department, find an internship, tell them about it, and take a semester break and go around to different parts of Germany or to different places and get some good experience of living and working in a company. Uh, of course, the better part of this is you refine your skills in your career path you choose. It pays well. It pays more than as a research student or as a Hiwi. And at the end of it, just like your research assistantship, if you produce a document of the work you did and it is relevant to the examination department, you can get credits for this as well. As mentioned earlier, 3 to 6 credits, and they are ungraded. In some special cases, the university also allows for part-time degree. The university just believes that there's no reason to stop your education. For example, if you have old parents and you have to assist them at home, or you have children that you have to take care of at home, or there's some disability or sickness that you yourself are suffering through that that inhibits your learning capabilities. In such cases, university provides special programs or special provisions for you to take advantage of. And in such cases, the credit requirements per semesters can be reduced, or you can be given an off semester if required, or it's also possible to extend your study period. More information about this will again be available in our orientation document. Or you can also get in touch with the student coordinator to find out more about this. I will be back with the next presentation. Just hold on a moment. So we spoke about earning money. Let's talk about where can you do that at the university. As we said, there are a bunch of research organizations inside our university. For example, DFKI, then you have CISPA, then you have MPI Systems, then you have MPI Informatics, and a whole bunch of different research groups inside the university itself. All of these institutions employ students who as part-time research assistants or as teaching assistants, depending on what kind of projects they have. The University of Saarland itself has a bunch of labs and research groups which employ students for visual computing group or UMTL lab or even the Center of Bioinformatics. Then we have German Institute of Artificial Intelligence. They do amazing stuff in autonomous driving and robotics and artificial intelligence. It's like a mecca of AI research at the campus. The next, we have 2 MPI institutes. MPI Informatics, which is dedicated to visual computing, graphics, and a lot of machine learning stuff, and software systems, which is related to a lot of systems and operating system related stuff. So if you're interested in any of these fields, this could be your place for research assistantship or internship or even master thesis later onwards. Then we have MMCI, which is really proficient in augmented reality, HCI, and interactive learning. They have a lot of courses as well, and they are popular with like human interaction with computer kind of research. And then this is my favorite place at the campus, CISPA. They have exhaustive list of researchers. They have a very long list of courses that they offer, and they're always looking for students to hire for their research and for assistantship. They have a long list of courses. For example, trusted computing, usable security. All of these are just departments inside CISPA, head by a bunch of assistant professors or professors. You can go to their website and get in touch with them about what they work on, what interests you, and how you can apply. And lastly, we have KIST, which is Korean Institute of Science and Technology, and they work mostly on environmental science, chemical science, toxicity assessment, and drug delivery. I know a bunch of bioinformatics students and friends of mine who have done their internships or who work at KIST. So this was the list of research institutes at the campus. Detailed information about this will be given by our dean on 27th at the semester opening event. Stay tuned for it. Moving on to the next one, and one of the last and the most important things, master thesis. This is a big topic mentally. It's a very big hurdle for a lot of students, especially if you have not done a bachelor thesis before at your bachelor's university or college. For me, master thesis was a question in my very first semester itself. How do I approach it? How do I do this? Because I heard from a lot of students that it can get difficult. But with the right approach and with the right mentality, you can make this easier for yourself. The best thing to do is build a good foundation and build a good network with the university or with the department which interests you, and it will make that's the thumb rule, and it will make it easier for you to acquire a master thesis at the end when you're looking in your third or in your fourth semester when you're looking for one. How I would recommend doing this is take a few core courses of your choice. Core courses help you build the foundation of the department, and then follow it up with advanced courses. You're allowed to take 3 core courses. You can take 2 related, 1 unrelated, or all 3 unrelated, or however you feel like, and build a good foundation of what you would like to learn. Whichever of those courses, whichever you like, you can take 5 or 6 advanced courses for your degree or more, suit yourself, and develop a more detailed foundation knowledge of what you want to do there onwards with your core courses. And once you have good detailed knowledge of what a particular department does or what the university is teaching you, you can take related seminar courses, 1 or 2 of them, and that would give you a good understanding of what active industry research is in that department. Because the most important thing about master thesis is it has to be related to the active research and be solved by scientific methodologies. So if you are trying to do something that has already been done before, that will not be looked upon very kindly. So it's good to stay on top of the research which is going on in the industry. So seminars are definitely going to help you with that. They also help you in developing paper reading skills, which is definitely important for literary survey and research for your thesis. Pay attention to group specific requirements, because every professor and every PhD student has their own inclination and their own interests, and they definitely want students who align with that, because it will help them. It will help them in a way that they won't have to put as much effort as a fresh, brand new, clueless person. Okay, I already spoke about this. All research groups at the uni have specific fields that they're interested in. You can definitely find out more about this by speaking to your professors. For example, get in touch with your professor after your core course, after your seminars or after your advanced courses, and tell them that you're interested in their department. So they would be happy to hear this from you and tell you what to do there onwards. That's what I did, and I definitely would recommend you to do that as well. And if seminars and courses are not enough, you can being a research assistant with in a department definitely gives you a lot of information in this field. What is a master seminar? This question actually popped up a couple of times in the chat as well. A seminar is a course that you have to take, which is usually worth 7 credits, and it is offered by the department. It is offered by a professor or a PhD, and you take the seminar to understand the latest research. You read papers and present it. In master seminar, the seminar will be presented by you. It will be about the requirement analysis and the scientific process and your proposal to a solution to the problem which is your master thesis. And once you have an idea what you're going to do in your master thesis, you are supposed to give a master seminar. The master seminar will award you 12 credit points. It will be attended by your professor. It will be attended by other interested people, for example, sometimes your friends, sometimes PhD in the department. And after the master seminar, the master seminar is a way to say that I have this problem statement and I have this approach to the solution in mind. And your professor will give you a thumbs up that, yeah, this is good and you can go ahead with it. Often students take up master seminar halfway through their master thesis when a good solid implementation is already done. So you have a deadline in your mind. Because the thing about master seminar is you have to register your thesis after your master seminar, and from that point onwards you only have 6 months to finish your thesis, finish your implementation, finish writing your thesis, and submit it. So keep that in mind when you start your master seminar and when you register for your thesis. Well, finally, about master thesis, work in your favorite department, because it is going to be 6 months of dedicated back-breaking research, at least 6 months of dedicated back-breaking research. And if it is not in your favorite department or a favorite topic, it can actually be more tolling and more difficult than it has to be. So definitely find out what you're interested in and go for that. Second thing is keep realistic expectations with yourself and with the problem statement, because yeah, you can eat the elephant one bite at a time, but still you should be able to finish it in 6 months. Maintain communication with your professor, with your supervisor, so that you do not go on a different path than you're supposed to, and at the end of 5 or 6 months you wake up and you realize that this was not how it's supposed to be done, or I missed the whole point of this, or there's no scientific problem that you're solving here. So always keep in touch with it, touch with your professor, have a weekly or a bi-weekly meeting with them, just for the sake that you do not go off track. It's also possible to do a master thesis with a company or external supervisor, but this depends on your department and on your professor itself. Ideally, you should have 2 professors in the department vouching for your thesis, and it's much easier to do it at the university. But if you find it easier to do it outside, it's your choice. Different groups have different regulations. You would find that you would find more about this as you proceed with your semesters. Like by the 3rd or the 4th semester, things should be clear to you what exactly your department demands. Identify and avoid exploitations. Yeah, keep as I said, keep realistic expectations, and do not let your supervisor intentionally deviate from these expectations repeatedly, because it only costs your time and costs your effort. So this was about master thesis, and I hope it gave you good information and some clarity about what you should be doing in the future. And with this, we conclude our educational section of our master step. So we can have a Q&A session right now before we proceed to do fun things to do in Saarbrücken and entertainment and light-hearted section. And I would request Simon and Sven to join us for the Q&A. Where's my mask? The space here on the screen.
Okay, there was a question about when would be a good time to start the thesis work. So you should have you should already have finished some lectures, and I would recommend to not start a thesis if you still plan to do core lectures or advanced lectures during the time of your thesis work, during the 6 to 9 months on the thesis. Working on a thesis will be time consuming, and I would not recommend to start a thesis in a time when you plan to do a lot of lectures parallel to the thesis. The presentation will be available for review later on. We plan to have it online for about a week.
So there was a question earlier about the about if you have to inform the exam admin department about the master practical phase. Yes. So depending. So for media informatics, you don't have to explicitly tell them. So for media informatics, you have to get in touch with the chair of Professor Krüger, the UMTL. On the website is also a nice instruction how to apply for the master's, the master's internship. But for the master internship itself, yes, write them, because they have to approve that you can do this. So if you're saying, okay, I work there now, please, this is now a master internship, normally does not work. So therefore, write them a mail and beforehand if you plan this, and get in touch with them.
Okay, research assistant positions usually last for half a year. So university usually gives contracts for 6 months. If you have a position and you are coming to the end of the position, you should talk to your supervisor if you can extend it about 6 to 8 weeks before the contract ends. I think CISPA also usually gives 6-month contracts out to student assistants.
But it can always be renewed if there is work, and if there is work which keeps going on and you're part of it, then it can always be renewed. It should not be a problem. How much do we earn as a research assistant?
So so if you have a contract with the university, and the same thing goes for CISPA, you will get paid after certain tariffs. So if you have a bachelor's degree and not yet a master's degree, and you will work as a research assistant, you will earn about 11.80, 12.50, something like this per hour.
It's also it slightly varies from different group to different group. Like CISPA pays something, university pays something, the DFKI pays something. So you will see it in a contract. No, there are more questions over here. Is it possible to do groundwork for master thesis before applying? Well, it's up to you, but the master thesis is a problem statement which is agreed upon between you and your professor. It can be given to you by your professor, or it can be defined by you, but the professor has to agree on it. So unless you already know your master thesis, I am not sure how you would go with it. But sure, if you would like to do that, go ahead with that. What seminars? One second. Adarsh has explained it pretty well. What a master's seminar is. Yeah, so you have to give the master seminar before you start your master thesis, or somewhere around halfway. But you also have to do a defense at the end of your master thesis, which is more, I think, which is more similar to the comprehensive PhD exam that you're talking about. But the idea is quite similar, yes.
So wait, there was a question again for if you want to take a semester break for doing an internship. No, there's not a specific time period. Basically, you can do it every time you want, but just in beforehand, just talk to the examination office and get in touch with them. And if they approve it, then so you're free to go. So there's no specific time period to do this. You can do it whenever you want, as far as I think.
So there's one question about how much tax do you pay? Should you pay? So you can't decide on how much tax you pay if you have a contract with the, for example, with the university as a research assistant for, let's say, 12 hours of working a week. The tax will directly be deduced from your overall income, and in the year after you paid the tax, you can, so in the following years you can apply for refund. Yeah, you would have to look up how much money exactly you can earn and still get all the income tax back from your work. But you don't decide on how much you pay. It will be deducted from your income directly.
So there was a question I just see from Marco. Do you know anyone who did their master thesis in an external company? So personally, I don't know about anyone, but it is possible. You can do your master thesis in an external company, but you have to ask a professor if they support this. So you cannot do it without involving a professor. And if you get a professor to agree and the company to agree, then it's possible to do their master thesis outside.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, I did not see this question before. I was answering something else on Discord, but because I am doing a master thesis with the university in CISPA and with ZF, so there's my problem statement is a collaboration between ZF and CISPA. So yeah, you can, but at the end, the grade will be provided by the university or by your professor. So it depends on them. Everything depends on them.
But you definitely should have a professor before you talk to the industry about theses. So without a professor, you can't do a thesis in the industry. There is a question: do professors expect for you to take their courses before you contact them for a research assistant position? So it makes things a lot easier if you actually took courses with them. So
there was a question, if we take 2 months for a master seminar and then next 6 months for a thesis, you can do them in parallel. So it's often common to do the master thesis and the master seminar in parallel, but this heavily also depends on the chair, but you can do them in parallel.
Wait, what? I do not understand this. Master thesis and master seminar go sequentially. You have to do you do the seminar between your thesis. It's one big project. So like like master's seminar is part of your thesis. So you get your problem statement, you start working on it. At some point of time, you will give your master's seminar, and that will still be part of your thesis. But like not literally the 30 credits, but the 12 credits that you get above it. But in a way, it's still the same problem statement that you're working on. So it's like a stepping stone. So you have to do them together. I'm not really sure what you mean by this question or that answer. I'm sorry.
There's a question in Discord: is there maximum limit on student earnings? So, I think this relates to the refund of tax of income tax. You will pay income tax if you earn more than 450 euros a month, and you can get back the income tax if you earn. So I just looked it up. I hope that I didn't get the wrong number, but I think you can back most of the income. You can get back the income tax if you earn at maximum 9.4 thousand euros in the year. This changes every year. Usually the Department of Finances updates that all the time. So you actually could earn in every month you could earn more than 450 euros. You would pay income tax, but you are able to get all this back.
Wait, there's something related or a different question? Okay, there's a question which was going away and I caught it. Bhuvneshwar asked if in case I want to take a semester break for internship, is there any time period before which I have to inform the examination office? You have to inform the examination office before you start. Like you have to let them know that you want to take this internship and you would like to take a semester break and they will approve it, then only you can start with it. Yeah.
The most recent question for internship in industries, we have to search and apply on our own. Yes, so basically the next fair, which I showed you earlier, there the companies actually come to university and kind of recruiting, but mostly you have to search it on your own. Yeah, so it's up to you to find a eligible place to do your internship.
I would answer this question a little with a cultural perspective. So I know how things work in India since I can read the name Divya Bala. The thing is, in Germany, we do not have placements. Companies do not come here looking for people to offer jobs. Whether you're looking for internship or whether you're looking for jobs later onwards, you have to do it by yourself. LinkedIn is your friend, and we showed you about Next recently, like a while ago, rather. That app is going to be your new friend. And you have to do this by yourself because it shows which department or which kind of work you're interested in. And you're not just going for a job because it exists. So things work a little different over here in that sense. Arpit asks, is it common for students to take 1 to 2 light lectures along with the thesis, given that it is suggested in the stream that taking fewer courses in the first semester is advisable? The reason we suggested taking fewer courses in the first semester was because if you're new to the university and are not very familiar with the workload and things like that, but it's actually advisable to take 30 credits. What we meant was if you take 30 credits and you take 4 courses, but you do not find yourself proficient with taking that load in the very first semester, you feel free to drop and do not take it as a bad remark or do not get discouraged because of it. But it's recommended to take 30 credits per semester so that you would be able to catch up with the course load and the expectations, and you would have sufficient time at the end for in the 4th or your 5th semester for the master thesis. And coming to master thesis, it is not really recommended to take courses during your master thesis, because when you say 30 credits per semester, the master thesis itself is 30 credits for that semester. So the workload given by the professor to you will occupy all of your time. It is designed to be like that.
So the latest question is, are there still enough positions for internship during the Corona time? Probably yes. So there are a lot of companies always looking for internship, but of course during the Corona time, these positions has decreased a lot. But especially I think in Saarland, I think there are a lot of companies always looking for an internship. So maybe you get lucky there. But of course, again, in the coronavirus time, yeah, this position has decreased.
Okay, so there's one cultural question in Discord. Is it okay to apply for multiple research assistant positions and then to choose from the most desirable one if accepted to some of them, or is it better to apply one by one, waiting for each to reply? So it's hard to answer this question, but I think for most of the research assistant positions, it won't take long to get an answer from the responsible person. Yeah, you could contact the research groups with open positions, and yeah, play with open cards, I would say.
So, additional question on what Go asked by Pankuri: has it impacted Hiwis too? Actually, yes, it has. I remember in the last semester there was, last 2 semesters there was a difficulty of there was less number of uh, research positions. But the thing is, it should not really, things should be back in the track because there was confusion last time. But the good thing about informatics is corona doesn't really affect our jobs so much, so look forward to it. Do we have to know German language for internships and research assistant? As long as you're working in the university in the computer science department, everything is going to be in English. So not necessarily. It would give you a friendly edge over most of other people or over yourself if you learn German. But if you're working outside, it definitely it's going to be a mandatory in most cases.
There's one question about the tax and scholarships. So at least for what I can say is for the German government scholarship for students, this does not affect the taxes and does not clash with the working hours and the money you earn there.
Someone mentioned on Discord, and I would like to repeat this again. That you should register in City Hall at the Bürgeramt as soon as you arrive. Do not wait for this. This is supposed to be done in the very first week of your arrival. You get your contract for the apartment and you go and talk to them at Bürgeramt because it's city registration. You can wait till you can wait for the residence permit till they get in touch with you, or there's like a 1 month left for your visa to expire. But for city registration, you should definitely do it as soon as you arrive.
Just in additional to this, if you do this, I think 2 or 3 weeks later, or at least let it wait 1 month, they could have a fee for this. So what? There should be a fine on this that so you have to do it as early as you can and not later than 1 or 2 weeks. Otherwise, they get mad at you.
Well, it depends. Anish asked, when would you advise to take up a part time? It depends upon you. Take your course in the first semester. See what you feel. If the load is too much, then don't take part time. If you think that you are capable of taking one, these are very dynamic questions. These are your capabilities of how you feel comfortable. Fight.
Okay, so there's a question, does a lot of master students complete the program during the recommended 4 semesters, or would you say it usually takes longer? So there is one point that I need to mention here. If you do your bachelor degrees at the University of Saarland and you plan to do your master's degree here also, you can actually do more credits than you would need for your bachelor's and take them with you to your master's. So some students that did their bachelor's at Saarland University might have some credit points already for the master's, and then it might be easier for them to finish in time. But in general, most students would take more than 4 semesters and more for the masters, and more than 6 semesters for the bachelor's. That's absolutely normal.
Just as an additional information for the part-time work or study. So part-time working is okay during your master thesis, but you can also apply, which we mentioned earlier, for a part-time study. And you are not allowed to do, I think, a part-time study doing your master thesis, because your master thesis should be full-time working on your master thesis. And as far as I know, it's not, you're not allowed to do then part-time study. You have to do it full-time.
Okay, so Arthur is answering one of the questions now. If it's no problem for you to follow the lectures and to attend the lectures that clash over the semester, and if the lecturers are okay with it, you can take the exams in both of the lectures.
Wait, let me just a sec. For media informatics, there are only 2 core and 1 advanced course we can. No, you basically core lectures, you can hear everything, I think. Especially if you not heard in your bachelor, for example, human-computer interaction or interactive systems, which I'm not sure if you can bring this in as graded. But you can literally hear everything, I think, from the core lectures. Advanced course, you can hear, I think, a lot of advanced courses, even if they're not mentioned. Again, ask there in the examination office. They have a list, and if they say okay, then you can hear the scores. For me, it was I think image compression. I could hear this when it was an advanced lecture. So therefore, you just go for it. Go ask if you can hear it, and if they say yes, they have a list.
Some person is asking about late fee at city registration hall. I actually have no idea about this, and I have never heard this case before, that there's a late fee or fine or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't think we would be able to help you with this, but all the best. I hope things work out for you.
So yeah, I also took some time to register. So normally it's not, they just say don't do it again, but they can fine you. But no, it's not normally not, but they can. And if you're just nice and the person has a good day, then nothing happens, or should nothing happen.
Just try to organize it for yourself. Try to be in time and do this right when you start. Another thing is we talked about this yesterday also, is the Rundfunkgebühr, so the fee for public broadcasting stuff. It's 1750 euros a month, and every apartment needs to pay that. There are some possibilities where an apartment does not need to do this. Please look that up in the internet. But the point is, be careful of that too. If they send you a letter that you should pay this, you need to pay it anyway, and you don't want to are forced to pay for the last month. They will find you and they will make you pay.
So this was an important section, so we took time to answering all the questions, but I think questions have stopped coming now. So we will move to the last section of having fun in Saarbrücken and in Germany and having fun after you come here. And stay tuned.
So welcome to the last part. And this part, Simon and I are going to take this. So basically, we're just talking about now everything except university. So everything about fun things to do since you're here, and probably with Corona, you have to you can't sit every time at home. So basically, what you can do in Saarland, especially outdoors, is hiking, cycling, and sightseeing. And indoor discos, pubs, and restaurants at the moment are kind of tricky, but at least restaurants and sport has a good coverage for Corona time. And for example, for hiking, there are a lot of hiking routes in Saarland, which are also really, really good. And for example, to see some of them, or at least a list, there's a Saarland Touren app for hiking, also for cycling and so on. Basically everything you can do outdoor, you can find there. Maybe you heard of Komoot. Maybe you just wanted to just put it in there. It's a great app for just every kind of tours, for sightseeing tours or hiking, cycling tours. It's really great. And for more information, you can also visit the official Saarland site. And they also have a list of every hiking and everything and every sightseeing.
There are some groups organized by university organizations. There is a hiking group organized by the university. There are also some really nice hiking paths that start and or are partially covering Saarland. For example, the Saarhunsrücksteig. It's one of the most beautiful hikes in whole Germany. And Little what? Yeah, yeah, and okay. You can find about that with the German tourist services also. They usually tell you about these.
Wait, go back. I want to talk about Lettermont. So, Lettermont is an amazing structure built in Fulklingen. Fulklingen is an old city near Saarbrücken. They had a big steel factory, right? Yeah, and all the exhausted ores from the steel factory, they would take them in the trucks and they would dump them in the dumping ground. The litter just means dump or garbage. And that dump has turned into a big mountain, which is perfectly pyramid in shape. And over the years, that dump, the nature found it suitable for organic growth. With the rain and over the years of compression with the weather and stuff, it has turned into a real mountain. And it's unbelievable to see a geometrically pyramid mountain. So when I saw that, I was quite amazed. And it's very close. There are three of them very close to Saarbrücken near Fulklingen. And if you're here, go check them out. It's a nice hiking trail as well.
Carl talked yesterday about cycling and the safety of cycling and where you can get bikes too. You can also contact him if you're interested in this. There are some nice trips, some nice pathway you can cycle. Essentially, Saarland is not that big, and you can cover a lot of the beautiful places by bike. You could, for example, try to go to Saarlouis by bike, or drive to the Saarschleife near Mettlach and Merzig. By bike, this is perfect. You also could go to France, to Saargemünd. This is not that far away. You could also take the tram to go there, but be careful in Corona times if you're actually allowed to cross the border without problems. Yeah, here you can see some beautiful sites located in our area. On the bottom right corner, you can see the Saarschleife, which is about bottom right. Sorry, on the bottom right, there's the Saarschleife with a beautiful. It's called Baumwipfelfahrt. I don't think that there's any English term to describe this. There's a nice tower that you can hike up and have an even nicer view over the whole curve that the river makes. It's a really nice place.
This castle over here is should be the castle which is normally located here, which you don't see, I think. Yeah, right under. Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Where exactly again?
It's this spot. This castle here is located here at this point.
Yeah. So basically, you don't see the castle at the moment, but it's right on the other side. Then I think here's another castle. It's called the Teufelsburg, I think. It's also really nice. This is in a village called Ensdorf. Basically, the same thing what Artul said. The minor companies just put up a lot of. They're dumped there, and then people said, okay, it's really nice just to hike, and then they open it for hiking and build a monument on it. This is Saarlouis. It's a really beautiful city just to watch and just to go through. It has a really nice park. And on the top left, it's in Landsweiler Reden. It's called Alm there. It's also some of these mountains. So we have artificial mountains in Saarland a lot. And especially on this location, there are sometimes festivals. And they're really, really nice there. And yeah. Just to conclude, discos, of course, at the moment are kind of, not that good. But of course, just to do the information right. So we have several discos in Saarbrücken, so-called 7, Soho, Maupfeifer, Plau, Apartment, Garage, and Silo. In the garage, there are also some often concerts. So if you're interested in concerts, you can just visit their sites too.
There are a lot of pubs in the around the city center in Saarbrücken. Most of them are also open right now during Corona times. Of course, there are some regulations with distance and maximum people allowed inside. Yeah, but most of them are still open. But be careful and adhere to the regulations. Usually you would have a pub crawl. Unfortunately, we can't do that during COVID times, but we will definitely do this as soon as all this shit is over.
So in Saarland, we have a motto, Hauptsache gut Guess, and basically it's just translated to the main thing is to just eat good. And since of that, we have a variety of restaurants also here. So if you fall for sushi, we have Oishi, Grand, Hokkaido, and so on. We also have some kind of great Italian, Mexican places. Also, a lot of restaurants which offer regional food, and the regional food is kind of nice. So basically, every food is nice. Just go to these restaurants. They are really, really nice, just for a nice evening. And also, there are a lot of good coffee places around the St. Johanna market. If you just want to hang out with your friend and just go grab a cup of coffee or also ice cream, St. Johanna market is the place for you to go. For sport,
Okay, so there are a lot of gyms in the city. There's also one gym at the campus, the Unifit, organized by the Hochschulsport teams. There's a lot of sports going on the also on the campus. Even now in this winter semester, you can check out their website, and most of the courses are for free. For some courses, for example, advanced yoga, you have to pay a small fee. But it's all manageable. Yeah, if you're interested in this, check out the website. This is from Hochschulsport. They have really nice courses.
so other than that, there are kind of festivals around or in Saarland. For example, the Urban Art Festival is in Völklingen. Rocco del Schlacco is a kind of big festival. Also near to Völklingen. Of course, at the moment in COVID times they are cancelled, but hopefully next year they're going up again. In the university, we have the Nico-Fete and also Nico-Fete from the Student Council. Normally, we have Christmas markets near here or not far away from Saarland itself. In Trier, it's a really beautiful one. In Traben-Trabach, it's a kind of a bit longer to travel, but I really recommend this one. Strasbourg, Saarbrücken, they are all a lot of beautiful Christmas markets. Also, what Arthur mentioned earlier, there is the Völklinger Hütte, and especially in the old part of the Völklinger Hütte, there are exhibitions from every art, and it's really nice to go there. The Staatstheater, it's free for students, but in beforehand you have to go to their shop in person and show them your student ID, and then you can say wherever you want to go. But there is one hint. If you say, okay, I want this and this place, this costs a bit. But if you just say, I want to just have a ticket, this costs not, but then you are not free in your seats.
Actually, the theaters in the city are pretty nice, and in fact, you are paying for this for the theaters. A small amount of your study fee, a very small amount of your study fee goes into this, and so you actually can take advantage of that. You're paying for that anyway.
Go back to the. So I actually just want to add that we, as a students' council, we love to party, and a lot of these events are also organized by us. Sadly, for now it seems like a sad history, but we used to organize pub crawls for fresh students. Like when we did this master step or bachelor step live here, we did pub crawls right after the step event, and then we would have pub crawls once in a while during the semester. We had game board nights, and then we had breakfast, and then we had Christmas party, barbecue. Every month we would have at least 2 events going on. So let's just hope that things would be back to normal, and we would love to welcome here with events.
Yeah, just to conclude, I think this is one of the last slides. There are a lot of other places than in Saarland which are really worth to visit. So especially in Germany, this is, I think the top left is the Kölner Dom. So especially Cologne is a really, really nice city. Then if you're into drinking beer, then maybe Oktoberfest in Bavaria, it is the place for you to be. On the top right, there is a castle in Haus, uh, Schloss Neuschwanstein, Castle Neuschwanstein in Bavaria. It's really, really nice. Bottom left is the Berlin Wall. Bottom in the middle of the bottom is the Berlin.
Gateway to Berlin.
Yeah, Brandenburger Tor. It's called. No, on the bottom right, there's a it's called the Zugspitze. It's basically not an artificial hill. It would be a bit big, but it is in the Alps, and there are really, really nice hiking places. Yeah, it's the highest hiking mountain. I don't know what the middle is. Is this also?
I actually put it there. It's my favorite city in Germany. That's Dresden. That's the river line on Dresden, and it looks very beautiful in the night.
Yeah, and maybe some of you already are in Saarbrücken. For all the others, if you are able to come to Saarbrücken and all this COVID shit is over, you actually can easily visit a lot of places in Germany, in Europe too. Paris, for example, is you can reach Paris under 2 hours by train from Saarbrücken, which is really, really nice. And for all the students that come from all over the world, from India, from the Americas, if you're already here, you might also want to go to Italy. You can see Florence on the top left. You can see Budapest on the top right, I think. Rome, Amsterdam, and Croatia. These are all awesome places, and it's if you're already here, you might want to plan these the trips to these places in your semester breaks. Yeah, you can use within Deutschland, within Germany, you can use Deutsche Bahn to get around. They manage most of the trains in Germany. There are also bus companies that will bring you to a lot of cities in Germany or in France also. You can also go to Vienna or to Budapest by Flixbus, and there are a lot of cheaper airlines. Ryanair, for example, you could use them to get to Italy, to Ireland, generally to travel by plane for quite cheap money. Yeah. There's carpooling. There are carpooling apps like BlaBlaCar, where you can join with private persons that would share their car for a small fee.
Okay. So, do's and don'ts of traveling in Germany, especially if you're international traveler. I mean, if you live here, you know most of these things. But especially if you're an international traveler, definitely go Airbnb and couch surfing because it's a very popular thing in Europe. It's very well budgeted and it's safe, very safe. And okay, I'm not sure about Corona times. Other than that, it's pretty safe. In most of the big cities in Europe, like Amsterdam and Budapest, they have walking tours, and often they are free as well, or they are more like paid as tips at the end of it. Europe is full of museums, so do visit museums, do go for walking tours, and you would get student discount at most of the places. And well, when I made the slide, cash was king, definitely everywhere. I'm not sure how things would change because of Corona, but cash is definitely more helpful in Germany and in Europe in general. What you should not do, never forget your PR and never forget your passport if you're leaving Germany for any other EU country. Your PR card, once you have your residence permit card, it's valid inside Germany. But to cross the border, to go to Luxembourg or to go to France or to Italy, anywhere, you definitely need your passport. Never forget your passport. Never forget your health insurance card because health insurance treatment can be very expensive if you do not have your health insurance card. at many places you can buy bulk tickets which do not have stamp or the date or the time stamped on them. Pay attention to that, and before you board the train, definitely go and validate these tickets. And do not be a foreigner. Involved in the local culture, involved with the local food, and talk to the people. If you can speak the local language, good for you. If you cannot, you can try. You can use translation, and experience Europe while you're here. Well, there's a question slide, obligatory, but are we expecting any questions here? Otherwise, this is us. This was Master Step for you, presented by this Master Step team. This Atul, this Simone, and Sven, and we had Besta yesterday. And big thanks to Nicholas, Daniel Wagner, Carl, and Alex for supporting us through this from Discord and from different presentations. And yeah, this was exhausting. And I'm glad we did this. There's one question here. Nice.
The hiking group is
Here,
active.
you would know that.
I don't know if the hiking group is active at the moment, but we can find out. I think I can contact the group and send us at best a mail, and then we can come back to you when we have this information.
Master document is on that.
Yeah, and please don't forget to check out the document that we shared on our website. Atul and Beste put a lot of effort into it. Not only them, but I think they were the two that put most of work there. It helps you with the yeah. You can see that on the slide there.
Just for the document, this is not an official document from the department, we have to say. It's just compiled by us. And as far as I know, the CIS has a really good also orientation document. You can find it also online from them. And so this is just for you to have an orientation. Basically, I think most of our slides are kind of written here in written form, but yeah, again, this is not official document, and check also the other documents, like I said, CIS, or I think other departments also have kind of orientation documents.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I would like to point out that Welcome Center has a very nice orientation document. You go to their website, you will find it, and their information is always up to date. Because we most likely will not be updating we will be updating this document in the next couple of weeks of the things we spoke about right now, but then it will not be paid attention to until the next iteration of Master Step. But Welcome Center really is much more proficient than us. They have very active FAQ and documentation of everything that is going on with respect to Corona and with respect to everything else. So do follow them as well. Yeah. Is it possible to rent bicycle for cycling tour? Yes, Asta is still offering bicycles for rent. If you need one, get in touch with them, and it's fairly inexpensive. If we come with general German national visa, is it possible to go to France and other countries? Yes, all the countries in the EU Union, European Union, you're allowed to go to these countries. You should have your visa should be valid. If your visa is valid, you definitely can go directly. Or if your visa is not valid, you need to have your residence permit in Germany to show that you are legally allowed to be here. Otherwise, they'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? Your visa is expired. Leave. So, guys, thank you. This is Atul signing off.
This is Simon. Thank you for your attention. I hope we could help you.
And also, bye from my side, Sven. So yeah, thank you for being there. So thank you for your participation. I think we get a great resonance from you guys, and also we are glad that we could help in any way. And hopefully see you next semester, maybe also in person.
Bye bye.
Bye.